Okay, not only does heat cause metamorphism, pressure also causes metamorphism. And there's two types of pressure we're going to talk about. The first is differential pressure, and this means that forces are not equal in all directions, right? Some directions forces are greater, right? The forces might be pushing in from this direction at they're really strong, whereas the forces pushing in from this direction up and down aren't as strong, right? So differential pressure, forces are not equal in all direction. This creates more stress in a single direction. So this causes recrystallization perpendicular to that stress. That's how differential pressure causes those linear features to show up, right? Through the variety of processes, recrystallization, neocrystallization, pressure solution, all of those things we talked about create these linear features. And this linear feature in the rock, we call foliation, right? So foliation, that's when metamorphic rocks show like a layered texture, a wavy layered texture. And that's because of differential stress. Okay, so we're going to go through a metamorphic series of rocks to show what I mean by foliation, starting with slate. Okay, so slate, it has a slaty foliation, meaning it has very thin foliations, right? But if you look at this rock, you can kind of see how it's made up of really thin layers, especially down there in the bottom of the image. It kind of looks like it's breaking off into thin layers. Phyllite, right, is a slightly more foliated rock, and it's created when slate undergoes metamorphosis. Okay? So here we're starting to see foliation, and we can actually start to see slight color differentiations, right, where the white mica creates these layers, and it looks like some of the layers are a little lighter in color, some of the layers are darker in color. So slate and phyllite, they're both foliated. When phyllite undergoes metamorphism, it gets even more foliated and becomes schist. So schist, right, the grains are all oriented in the same direction. They're roughly parallel. Right? So we start to see this very pronounced foliation in schist, right? It's very obvious that there's layers of different chemical compositions in this rock. One of my favorite schists is Micah Garnishist, right? Where the mica here, that mica is muscovite. That's a type of mica, that bright, shiny silver color with giant garnet crystals within it. One of my favorite schists. All right, when schist undergoes even more intense heat and or pressure, it can become a gneiss, spelled G-N-E-I-S-S, but pronounced gneiss. So this is one of the rocks with the most intense foliations. Right? You can see very distinct foliation representing alternating layers composed of different minerals. All right, so these foliated rocks are created when we have differential stress, meaning stress is greater in some direction.